G'day guys, and welcome to World of Tanks with the Magnificent Margon. This is one I've had in my vault for quite a while now. It's actually on my Chiri. I don't know why I haven't put Chiri battles up. Surprisingly, for the type of tank this is, it's not a bad tank. You've got to have the auto loader to really come to its element. Now, I haven't really had an argument with Kaze, but he personally believes that maybe the non-auto loader is better. I find this one to be just as good, even though the reload time is pretty crappy. The pumping out 3 shots in a few seconds is good, whereas I think the reload time on the standard one is about 3 seconds. So it's a toss-up whether you want to reload for 8.43 seconds, as you can see, or whether you want to do it for 1 second and fire through really quickly. So as you can see, we're on Helm's Door like usual. We're seeing to get a lot of these now. Kaze is on his other Chiri next to me because we were both playing and we were trying to get our Japanese medium tier 10. We've actually stopped because when we got to the STA 1, we couldn't find the love for it, and we both wanted to get other tanks. So we did that, and it's been good. Like, as you can see, I've got the binoculars, telescopic binoculars on this, which did come in handy at times, particularly on these sort of maps where I can sit here in this bush and spot out. As you can see, we're just sort of waiting. There's no hurry. We know that most of the enemies are over the other side of the map, so it'd be nice to know sort of whether there's anyone going to push down this side. So the T-43 medium tank, he's pushing up, which does help us quite a fair bit. That means I don't have to move up. Now he's moved up to the first building quite safely. Why we haven't moved, I don't know. This is back in the days when we were really still learning what to do. As you can see, we've probably started a little bit late moving up, whereas these days we'd move up a bit earlier because where the 43 is, we're sort of nearly outside. We're outside of his render spotting distance, so we're pretty well useless to him. But there was no one on this side of the map, which was hilarious. I can't remember whether we win or we lose on this map. It's just one of those things I kept. I don't know why I've kept this one. I didn't actually watch this before I decided to record it. Now I have got another Chiri one, which is an ESC. I don't know whether I'm going to add it yet. It depends upon how long this takes. I may add it because of who I am, and I just like to be able to give 2 battles instead of just 1, because one's pretty boring pretty quick. I think we actually just raced around in cap. So the Chiri, the worst thing about it is a very high profile medium tank, particularly for tier 7. As you can see, it's quite large. As I move the camera around, it's got a very big profile, so it's almost like a heavy tank, and that's its biggest letdown. Now, we followed the standard rules of what people have recommended, and I'm glad we did. Most of the mediums are the same size all the way through, so you got to really be confident in playing such a large profile medium tank, because anyone can shoot you from any angle. As you can see, the 43 is much lower than ours. Now I do remember this one now. I remember racing around this corner and offloading 3 shots in this IS's arse. It was one of those battles where it ended up being quite good because we just sort of waited, and look at this. 1, 2, 3. IS is down just from 3 simple shots. The maneuverability and the speed of this tank makes it an excellent tank, particularly for these kind of city battles things. I'm now heading down to Death Valley, and so is, I believe Kaze is following me. Yes, he is, to take on this Tiger and try to send him back to the garage. Just having a bit of communication difficulty between 2 of us. We have had a lot of communication difficulty. He offloads 3 shots, then I pull forward. I take a few shots for him. I unload 3 shots. I then pull back. Kaze pulls forward because he's reloaded now, and it's his turn. So he goes boom, 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 and I believe he hit his reload now, and we both went, alright, time to move up. So we've played the working game, and that Tiger really didn't know what to do. 2 Chiris, both of auto loaders, unloading nearly 800 damage a second into him. It is tough and rough. And Kaze is going out in the field. Oh, so am I. There you go. I didn't think I went out in the field, but I am going out in the field. So we're going to unload on this Tiger P. I have so much trouble with Tiger Ps these days. That looks really simple. That's interesting. Maybe I'll play a few more battles just in the Chiri, just for fun. Look, E25 ramming Kaze there. Yep, that didn't work for you, buddy. So there you go. There you have it. As you see, I have 6th Sense on this. It's probably the first time it's gone off, I think. So that's not a bad battle when you think about it. Just that whole team working the Tigers down worked well. Like 1200 damage, that's not bad. And these were some of the best games we were having at the time. We didn't have... I've lost a lot of my files, unfortunately, of when I started playing. I think I've got one which is of my Conqueror. I think the only problem is I might have to use World of Tanks replays and hope that the old map on Redshire will work, because otherwise my tank just looks like it's floating in the middle of the air, because I've got rid of the mountain that I had an awesome 5k battle on. So yeah, so I'll play my other Chiri one now, and we'll go from there. So I'll just switch it over and I'll be back in just 2 seconds. Okay guys, here we are on Esk, I believe it is. Yes. So once again, I really don't know what's happening. So I haven't watched it before I recorded. See, once again with Kaze now. As you can see, my tank's moving a lot slower now. This is an earlier game. I think this is one of the first games we had. Now, it's very rare you see Kaze and me move up this side of Esk. Don't know why, but I used to like the open field, and this is probably one of those times where I'm in an open field where I'm enjoying it. As you can see, very noobish. I can't shoot anyone from here. I'm just sort of sitting here hoping people come to me. Kaze is just starting to move up too on my right there. But yeah, why I'm not moving, I don't know. Obviously I've just learnt all the new rules. Actually, that's right, I was listening and watching the Mighty Jingles. Now I will link his YouTube video page in the description below. He actually, I was watching him on his VK36, I think it was, or something else. It might have been, oh no, I think it was his Stug 3, and it was talking about cover and how it works. Now, as you can see, Kaze is in the bushes. That's fine for scouting, because you can use the bush to conceal your whole tank. Whereas, as you can see, I'm just sitting behind the bushes, and I'm able to shoot through the bushes and not be seen. Whereas, and this is where we started, and I was trying to explain it to Kaze how it works and everything, because it is difficult to understand, and it really did start to... The game started taking a new element for me once I learned all these tricks. It's not about working at church at 7. That gun is actually quite powerful. I don't know why I don't know why I'm having so much trouble these days. Maybe just I'm doing something wrong with my shooting, and I'm not doing the damage that I used to back then. It's just so easy. So, as I was saying, cover works in 2 different ways. You've got cover that will protect you when you're hiding in cover without shooting. And you've got cover where you'll be covered behind the cover. And normally they say it's like 50 meters back or 30 meters back or whatever it is behind the actual bush. As long as you're not really in the bush, it makes the differences. It's an interesting concept how cover works. Now, I know they've just changed it all with... particularly TDs, or running the Kaze, that comes down to not paying attention, where certain TDs now, when they shoot, they actually shoot through cover. This is actually one of the good games I've played. So as you see, I've hit C to reload. So yeah, so cover is, you've got to know how to use it, and in open planes, particularly on Prohovoka and Malinovka and I can't think of all of them at the moment. As soon as I play them, I know the maps. But they're the two main ones. Using those bushes in the right way for either scouting or for shooting can actually change the game, because you can be shooting someone. Now I've done a few different times in a few different tanks and different battles where I've been in cover and, well, been behind cover I should say, and shot people and not been seen. And it is very rewarding when that actually happens, because you can shoot someone and it frustrates them. I've had like a KV1 guy actually scream the F word across chat telling me to F off because well, because he was being shot by an invisible Matilda. I'm pretty sure I was on my Matilda. And look at this. Just get in the right position and open up on that IS-3. Now, that's what I find really strange about tanks these days. Whether it's because I'm so used to the high accuracy of the guns and the penetration and stuff like that. Oop, I didn't really position myself very well then. Trying to find that weak point on that glacier. There it is. In the IS-3, it's in the center of the glacier point when he's facing onto you. So I'm quickly running down here, getting this cap circle. So do a little bit of a ram there. But yeah, so working cover in your favour, like whether you're the medium tank scout or whether you're light tank scout, and you're hiding in the bush, going, yep, I'm not going to shoot, I'm just going to be a passive scout. Or whether you like to sit behind the bush and shoot through and just annoy people. It's a lot of fun when you actually can do that, and I've done it very successfully quite a large number of times once I learnt those rules. And I do encourage people, if you want to know more, get out there, look on YouTube. There are probably a lot of people that have done a lot of these sort of reviews, and I think that's why I kept this one, to sort of show how to use cover to work for you. Like that's the end of the game. As you can see, I didn't really use cover as such, but the idea and the concept of using cover. So that was not a bad game. Like 1,000 damage, when we started getting over 1,000 damage, they were good games for us, particularly so fresh in the game. Like we've just got tier 10s, I think by now, and we've decided we're going to work up, and we've sort of got our tier 7, so it was really good, and we've had some very successful games. I think Kaze and I, we both do need to probably go back to the roots of these lower tier tanks. We're finding it very frustrating of late days, particularly at tier 7. We're not doing as well as we are in these battles. Don't know what it is. Like today myself, I've played a few battles at tier 7 on my Tiger and on my IS, and they're not giving me what I need, and it's really annoying. So I'm going to try and give little helpful hints in the battle situations, like the cover stuff. I'm going to do a review this weekend on what do you call it, on consumables and on tank modifications, because there's a large variety that you've got to be mindful of, and what they can do and how they work for your tank. Now, I'm all for, as you know, small circles means higher accuracy. So I always try to either get that circle down as small as possible to get the highest accuracy, and I add smooth ride in and snapshot, gives you that better accuracy, particularly moving the turret and stuff like that. So they're the things that work in my favour a lot of the time, and I really do encourage that accuracy is key, but not all the time. Some players can actually play very well by being very passive and waiting. That's actually not a bad shot. You don't see stuff just in the air like that. So I haven't played Maturity for a long time. I might have to go back to it. I might actually have to go back to the route points that I started in and play them. Like I've played the Matilda a lot. The Matilda, oh my god, I didn't realise how OP it was till after I got off the Matilda and I actually jumped into the Churchill 1. Churchill 1 was a very tough tank for me, and I do agree with a lot of reviewers. If you're a grinder, you'll love the British tanks, particularly the heavies. They are a grinding tank, and the fixed turret TD that I'm currently working on with my AT2, and I've just got my AT8 the other night. Yeah, it's gonna be a tough slog. I'll be sort of glad when I get past the AT8, because a lot of the stuff from that tank transfers across, and you don't have to unlock as many modulars in the tank tree to actually get it to its peak performance. So I'm one for trying to get the tanks to work at their peak performance. If the motors don't help and I don't need the tracks, I generally try not to worry about it too much, because I want to get the next tank, and then if I get time later on down the track, I replay them, because I generally keep my tanks in my garage. I'm one for I enjoy, each tank has their different aspects on different maps and work really well. So I think that's enough said. I seem to just waffle on a lot in these videos. But please, if you like if you like me waffling about stuff, please like me. If you don't like it, hit the thumbs down. If it tells me you don't like it, but generally that's the way I am. I am just gonna waffle. At the same time, if you want to subscribe to me to hear more about me waffling about World of Tanks or Diablo 3, I am going to try and do some more Diablo 3 this weekend. Saturday's going to be a busier day. I've got an engagement party to actually go to, which is not too bad. I was a bit disappointed though that it starts at 11:30, and well, I sort of like having my Saturdays to work at the coffee shop that I work in. It's quite relaxing making coffee for people. It's just something I do on the side. I do it to help a mate out so he can have a day off, and it doesn't bother me too much. So yeah, I don't get to earn my little cash this week as much as I would like it. I'm probably not going to be able to do that for the people who do like to come in and drink my coffee. I've only sort of found out that people actually do like drinking my coffee, which is odd. I never thought that I would get to that stage where people do like the coffee I make, and I've been told by a lot of people I make a very good coffee. I'm not a big coffee drinker. You ask Kaze, if you ever get the chance to, he'll tell you. Even write a comment to him in the comments below. Say, hey Kaze, is Jeff a coffee drinker? He'll say, no, he's not. But I can make a good coffee. So I was proud of that. I'm actually got people that like the way I make coffee. So I must be doing something right there. But anyway guys, happy hunting. And I will catch you on that battlefield.